about this new place where they make fantastic amala. And on this episode of Startups, I decided to come to Alabula in Surulere, Lagos to not just speak to the owner of the restaurant, but to also have a taste of his cooking. Join me.
Yeah, Alabula means, when we say Abula means Begri and Ewedu. Yeah, that's what it means. Begri and Ewedu mixed together is Abula. But when we say Alabula, that means somebody that sells Begri and Ewedu. So literally, that's somebody that sells Begri and Ewedu. So, but it is incomplete when you just say somebody that sells Begri and Ewedu. There has to be Amala inclusive. So basically, Alabula, if somebody sees Abula and sees Alabula, literally what comes to their mind is that, okay, this person is selling Amala, Begri and Ewedu. My name is Suleiman Ogunsanya. I am the co-founder and manager of Alabula Buka restaurant.
Suleiman Ogunsanya is popular on social media for one thing, making amala. This pot took him less than 10 minutes to prepare, and he says he enjoyed every second of it.
The food I like very much is amala, to be honest, because there's a special feeling when I'm making amala anyway, so it is just part of me. If you wake me up now that I should come and make amala, I'll just, yeah, let's do it, because that's one of the basic major meal that sold me out, especially on the internet, on Twitter, Instagram and the like. So people get to know me because of the amala I make for events. So it is one of the meal I like to make most. Yeah, social media has helped my brand a lot, because I won't lie to you, most of the customers I get, even for the first 2-3 months we started this business, most of them get to know from social media, and whenever they get it, they tell me, oh, Aslai Alamala, yes, we get to know you from Twitter. So Twitter is my main stream for prospects. That's the truth. Because with the retweets and the likes, and I get a lot of prospects from Twitter. And yes, social media has helped me a lot.
For 3 generations, food vending has been a family business of the Ogunsanyas. But Suleiman aspired to work in the corporate sector. He worked at an insurance company and as a television presenter in Lagos, but he yearns to do more.
Even while doing the insurance marketer, I wasn't feeling too comfortable with the job until I have to go back again. I'm just being comfortable doing this. So there's a certain relief when I'm doing this. I never thought I would be selling food eventually. That's the truth, because while I was in school, and I know that my people are doing my family business quite all right, but I never see myself doing that. I've always had this intention of after school I'll be working in everybody wants to work in a big company, but then at the end of the day, we are here.
Suleiman had been seeking fulfillment elsewhere, but didn't know it was within him. He eventually decided to follow his heart, and in February 2019 he set up a restaurant called Alabula. But experience showed him that even passion has a price.
Get this place wasn't that easy, because I could remember the day I got this place. I started walking all the way from Antony into Ilukpeju. I started walking. Could you imagine how it would take you to walk from Ilukpeju down to Kayode Street Onekman? I walked down. Yes, I trekked, just because I was looking for. I don't have a car, and I can't keep taking bike from one place to the other because I'm trying to see you for the shop, and the agents haven't been coming through then, so they kept posting me. So I just felt, okay, let me just go out myself and search for the place. So I got to Onekman. I just joined a bus from Onekman to Ojuelegba. So from there I got myself to Nishaga Road, and boom, we are here.
This shop cost him 1.2 million naira per annum. It's been 5 months now since he moved here, but the reality of being a restaurateur has been far from his expectation.
the business hasn't been going as I expected. That's the truth. But I believe with time, I expected to have gotten quite number of customers at this stage, but then we are still trying to, increase the number of customers that patronize us. But then I still believe with time and when we don't give up, we will get to that level.
The National Bureau of Statistics says Nigeria's inflation rate rose to 11.40% in June because of an increase in the price of food items like fish and meat. For businesses, this isn't good news.
Food vendors tend to suffer from it at times, especially when there's inflation on the price of the foodstuffs. Because now I have set price for my elubo now. Let's amala rather to be 100 naira. A spoon of amala is 100 naira. So now, if at the end of the day, the price of elubo rises, that is yam flour, I cannot effect that on it because people are already aware and they are used to the fact that I sell for 100 naira per spoon. So it is always a challenging moment for us in terms of the price inflation, But we have been used to it. It's just a matter of time. Let's say 2-3 months. Like for presently now, the pepper is actually very expensive at the moment. But we cannot say because pepper is expensive, the meat I'm selling for 15 naira, I should be selling it for 100 naira. Or the stew I'm making, I should reduce the standard or the quality and the taste. No, we don't do that. We try as much as possible to just adapt with the situation, and once the situation is bygone, then we're back to our normal business.
Nigerian chefs have broken into foreign markets with a distinct taste of the local cuisine. Suleiman also dares to go global.
Before the end of the year, I project this business. I project increase in the prospects. So I project to get more outdoor services, and I project to have more employees because as much as we have the increase in numbers of people that comes into heat, of course, we should have increase in number of employees we have as well. So by the end of the year, I project we should be we should be giving testimony of what we projected for. Yeah, we want the brand to be in the lips of so many Nigerians, so that they can have a feel of what we've been preaching and the taste we've been preaching, because one of the significant features of our brand is taste. So I think we'll get there.
Learning from his experience, he's advising aspiring food vendors to consult with mentors before starting up.
The fact is, if you have the money and the idea and you don't have the right people to guide you for the business to thrive, in no time the business might just collapse. But just try and talk to the people who are in the business, who have been there before, to get to get orientation about the business, and and I believe things will work out. And just you have to maintain a standard anyway. You have to be distinct from an existing booker who is within the environment you really want to operate.
Suleiman's love for cooking and the passion with which he does it has made him a top choice for event planners. And whether you want to get an early breakfast or a late dinner, Alabula is open from 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. in Surulere to put some joy in your belly. So now you're convinced and want to have a taste of Alabula just like me. But how do you get there if you need to take a bus? Now another set of entrepreneurs have got you covered with Lara, a chatbot that helps you find your way around Lagos.
Lara NG is a product. I know a lot of people sometimes tend to think it's a company, but it just shows the effect and how far the product has been quite very successful. But it's a chatbot. a chatbot that's built to help people with the local public transit directions. At its core, the company's mission here is to build solutions that help people plan, commute, and connect better on their trips. And Lara, it's just a chatbot that shows a whole lot to effect of what she does.
There's Google Maps to direct you when you drive. But how about if you don't own a car or need to use public transportation? Samuel Odeloye, Nnamdi Nwaze, and Ladi Ojora decided to step in and close this gap by creating a navigational guide called Lara.
In other more developed cities, they have public transit directions as well as fare codes. But in developing cities like ours, where that information is not available, that's where we come in, and that's the distinguishing factor for us. So we are able to provide public transportation modes from, shuttle buses down full to, Okadas, which are bikes, bike taxis, ferries and everything. So we provide all that public transit information and also include fare codes and time estimates. So if you say you're going from one point to the other, we are able to tell you what are different modes that you can take, how much will it cost, so you can compare them across, and then you can also kind of make a decision on how you go. In addition to that, we've also incorporated, ride-share services as well. In Lagos specifically, you can now use Uber services, Taxify. You can also use Gokada service, which is like an Okada, like a bike service as well on demand. So we're incorporating that as well into our platform. Those are distinguishing factors that, like Google Maps and maybe Apple Maps don't have. And it's not just in Nigeria, it's also across developing cities. And we think that solution is applicable in all those places as well.
A distinct feature of Lara is that it's a chatbot. So rather than just show you a map and directions, you can ask questions like, how do I get from Lagos Airport to the National Stadium? And you'll get an answer in almost an instant with the estimated costs to get there.
And we noticed that most people want to ask other people for directions more than just like play on the computer or anything. So that's when we thought about creating a chatbot. And that was about the time that I also got involved. So it was Sam, there's also Nnamdi, our CTO, it's like a tech guy, he's not here today. And then the three of us kind of came together and we created Lara.ng. And what we are trying to do is to make Lara like that, your neighborhood friend that you can just ask for, how do I get from Oshodi to Apapa or something? And she would give you just the same way your friend would tell you. And that's how we created Lara. We got a WhatsApp number, and Lara was basically the personality behind that WhatsApp number. And people would send a text message or just ask on that WhatsApp number and get directions. And we launched this, and in a week, we had so much traffic because Lara just became hugely popular. Within schools, people would share Lara all the time. And WhatsApp got wind of that and shut us down. Because at that time, they weren't open to having bots be a part of their interface. Now they are more open to that. So now we're exploring the option of getting Lara back on there. But at that time, which was early 2017, we were a bit too early. And I guess we were just doing too much traffic that we drew the attention of WhatsApp. Yeah. That's how that story ended.
And then the story ended on that, and we took Lara over to what she is today. But what was really interesting for us was even the direction to actually build the chatbot interface. It was a brainstorming session where I think we had with some of our mentors and thinking about go-to-market strategy or something like that. And then it came out, what about if we took what we already had with my RP and conversations? Like Ladi said earlier, typically in Nigeria, and this is something, I wouldn't say maps are irrelevant, but if you look at the US market, so let's say back in the 50s or even as early as early 90s, you would use a physical map to actually get like, this is where I'm going to this. So like, it's a lot of complexity involved in that. Like over here, like we never use any of that. It's more of landmarks. Like when you get to Total filling station, you see this building, turn right, or get to so bus stop, and it's more conversation. So you either ask a friend on Twitter, or you ask a friend over WhatsApp, or you call. So that whole, how the problem's being solved was more conversational. Or like, how about we take this whole conversational platform? Or like the best platform for this, we're thinking about WhatsApp. Your grandmother is there. Your security guy is there. So we took the data and our expertise like machine learning and data science and all that, put it together on this and let's test and see what happens here. And like I said, it grew, and then that sort of gave us some reassurance that okay, what if we took it to our platform?
It would still work.
It would still work.
Which it did.
Over 10,000 people visit Lara.ng every day. but they aim to help even more people find their way around busy cities. Samuel says the drawback now is access to more capital.
If you ask typical African startup or Nigerian startup, he tell you top things, infrastructure, access to funds, and whatnot. And those are not any different from our own case here as well too. Like I said, the challenges of being bootstrapped, and there's a limit as to how much you can spend on marketing, and because you still have various other things to focus on for the business. I mean, there's also infrastructure as well too, and policies and things like that in your specific area of industry. But I think access to funds, like probably one top thing there. For also like in terms of being able to, I think something that we also see each time we have to expand Lara. So Lara goes to Accra right now. We have to go there, find local people, train them as well too. As opposed to a business where you could start and then just launch up your stuff on social media right away. The inherent nature of what we're trying to solve, because it's tied to like different geographic areas. That in itself can also prove challenges as well. So each time you have to go to a new place, and new cultures, adapt yourself. Just last year, December, we had gone to map out Kaduna as well too. So like, I mean, within Nigeria here, just going up north, slightly different, like differences in like culture and even just language as well too.
For us, for a large part of our history, we've been bootstrapped, meaning we funded the startup by ourselves. But luckily for us, in the past year, we were part of the Facebook accelerator, so we got some influx of fund, and we've also got some influx of fund from some other sources as well. That has also helped us, do more in terms of expanding our reach. But what we find is that, before we don't have unlimited amount of resources. So because of that, we've had to be very clever with how we spread the message across. And what we found is word of mouth marketing is the biggest driver for us. So a lot of people on WhatsApp just tell other people on WhatsApp groups, student communities and such, and they spread the message that way. So we are able to empower those people in those places to tell their friends about Lara, and the impact is huge on our head. I mean, we said we've done 10,000 a day, but we've had days where we've done double that. We've had days where we've had 20,000 people come to the platform, almost broke down the website. And most of that is not from social media. It's just, how can you get more people on WhatsApp talking about this?
In an ever-expanding country like Nigeria, there's also the challenge of data. Ladi, however, sees this as an opportunity to make greater impact by partnering with other companies.
Places in which, to our knowledge, we've tried our best to actually cover, like places like Songo, places like Akute, but not, I wouldn't say it won't be as much as like it is 90% as what we've actually done for like the main core part of Lagos. But yeah, it's a continuous work in progress in which we're doing there. One of the things we even see these days is actually users also wanting to contribute to Lara's data. So Lara also learns as well to each time somebody actually says, "Oh, I don't know this," and then it gives us more reasons to actually go ahead and cover most of these places. Yeah. And also actually for a place, for instance, now if I said I wanted to go from, biology has directions how to get to far places in the Caribbean, like as far as the Dogunyo and Imota and going towards the areas, even towards Biekwe, Shapati and Lakou and whatnot. The directions in which biology we've covered a lot of this, but again, when it comes to businesses like this, when it has a lot of geographic coverage, for outskirts that are not really the core focus for the main city there, it's sometimes a bit hard because you may cover some others may not cover, but one of the best ways we do that is, if Lara doesn't know, she tells you she doesn't know, and then there's a feedback in which you can either tell her how to, or you could also just drop a query and then we get those, and then based on the amount of volumes of those sort of places, it's like, okay, I think it's about time to map this area.
We want our solution to reach as many people as possible, but most times you can't do that on your own. So there's an opportunity to also do that with strategic partnerships as well. So give other people access to our platform, but obviously at a certain price point. So there's a licensing opportunity as well that we are willing to consider, both for public and for private entities. So people who have access to license our data, and people have already expressed interest in that. But also that's also based on, is your data clean enough? Is your data consistently updated? And do you have sufficient coverage in the cities that we care about? which is why we care about geographical expansion and we think very carefully about where we go to next and all that. So yeah, that's how we plan to make money. We are not there yet, but it's a work in progress.
So when next you need to find your way around Lagos, simply ask Lara. And it's a wrap here on this episode of Startups. Many thanks for watching. Till next time, bye for now.